And then lastly, I want to close by reading a quote from the URANTIA Book, which I often cite in my podcast because I find the URANTIA Book revelation to be one of the most complete spiritual tools to help facilitate my spiritual walk and growth. So from the URANTIA Book, there's a beautiful little quote here about how to deal with self-importance and using humor. When we are tempted to magnify our self-importance, if we stop to contemplate the infinity of the greatness and grandeur of our makers, our own self-glorification becomes sublimely ridiculous, even verging on the humorous. One of the functions of humor is to help all of us take ourselves less seriously. Humor is the divine antidote for exaltation of ego. How do we exalt our own egos? And what is that humor? I think the humor is so important because until we can make fun at ourselves, laugh at ourselves, see our own flaws and not take ourselves too seriously, we're still operating in modes of self-importance. We take things too seriously. We blow things out of proportion. We're easily offended by others. When we become more balanced, more self-aware, more mature, we're able to laugh at ourselves more. We're able to really see, our flaws in a balanced way. And so, for me personally, I can ramble on about self-importance and wanting to come into self-awareness because it's a process that I'm personally going through, because I'm going through a process of wanting to identify how am I self-important. I think it's a question that we can all ask ourselves, and the answers will be different, and how that self-importance manifests in all of our lives day to day and our choices will be different. But there are some underlying continuous themes of self-importance that I touched on this podcast that I think can relate to everybody. And so once again, let's strive for self-awareness, which to me is generosity, compassion, graciousness, and humility in our actions. Thanks for listening to episode 18, and that's my take, my friends, on self-awareness and growing out of self-importance. I'd like to read a quote by Viktor Frankl. How do you say it, Frankl? Everything can be... energy bar. Get Real or Die Trying is sponsored by... That's it. This is 1 apple and 1 banana in 1 fruit bar. It's delicious. It's non-GMO. There's no sugar added. What are the ingredients? Apples and bananas. Literally, that's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. It's literally apples and bananas. I'd like to read a quote by Victor. Jeez. Get some water here. Like 1 apple, 1 banana, in 1 bar. Everything can be taken from a man. I read that weird. Let me do that again. This literally just tastes like a dried banana and a dried apple in a bar.